guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're doing the client glam. So I'm just starting off by cleaning her face with micellar water, and then I'm hydrating her skin with the Essence Blueberry Serum. I believe it has hyaluronic acid in it, and I'm just prepping her skin for the makeup that's gonna go on it. So I'm starting off with my NYX eyebrow gel and just getting those eyebrow hairs in place for when I fill them in. And I'm mostly focusing it on the tail, and I do drag it out a little bit in the front, very light-handedly, and I am following her natural eyebrow shape. In the front, I am using a light hand to create more of an even brow. And if you feel like it's a little bit too dark, that's okay, because when you go over it with foundation and all the powders and stuff, it's going to kind of lighten it up. So I'm taking the Too Faced, actually I think I use LA Girl concealer to conceal her brows. I want to say I use medium beige. I might be wrong. I did this video a couple days ago, so I don't remember all the exact products. But yeah, so I'm just carving out her brows with the concealer, and I'm cleaning up any mistakes that I did with the pencil. And I'm using that same concealer to prime her eyelids for the eyeshadow look. And I'm going to use my translucent powder to set that in place. And I also do go over the eyebrows just to avoid oily eyebrows. So I'm taking this first shade out of the Huda Beauty palette, and I'm just washing that in her crease, getting it prepped for the colors that we're going to use. So this is kind of like a transition shade, if you want to call it. And I use this little bit of a deeper pink to go over it. So we're basically doing like a gradient effect. And I'm taking my clean blending brush just to buff out those edges so it's not too harsh. And then I took my other Huda Beauty palette, I think this is the Electrics palette, and I took that pink shade and I'm deepening it up in her crease. And I'm making sure I'm using windshield wiper motions to blend all that color out. And then I'm taking my e.l.f. Camo concealer and I'm kind of making a semi-cut crease. I use a big dome brush to do this just because it's not going to make the crease so defined. It's kind of going to give it like that soft look. So I'm just using these patting motions to make the shape that I want. And then I'm going over it with this lilac color from the Huda Beauty palette. So I'm taking this Stila liquid eyeshadow and I'm putting that in the middle of her lid space just to give it a little pop. This is like a mermaid shimmery color. I'm going back over it with a cream shadow in the front just to brighten it up because I feel like it wasn't bright enough. And guys, excuse my positioning. I'm still trying to figure out the best way to record on this camera and as well as give you guys the best quality. So I'm taking that dark burgundy shade and I'm just deepening up her crease, and then I'm going to follow in with my Wet n Wild liquid liner to line her eyes. After that, I'm going to smoke it out with a black shadow from my Jaclyn Hill palette just to kind of soften up the liner. And then from my James Charles palette, I'm actually taking that white shadow and I'm going right in the front because I do feel like it was getting washed out a little bit. So now I'm using the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer to prime her face, and I did go in with the Wet n Wild Matte Primer in the middle of her T-zone because she does get oily. And I'm just using concealer to kind of cover up those blemishes that she has in red areas. I'm spreading the foundation all over her face. I did go in with two foundations. I used the Juvia's Place Longwear foundation as well as the Maybelline Fit Me foundation, matte and poreless. And I'm just making sure to spread that over her face so I can get an even coverage. And I'm blending it out with my brush by using tapping motions. And I'm carefully going around her eyebrows so she doesn't have a halo brow. So now I'm going in with my concealer. I want to say this is in the shade Honey. by Too Faced, the Born This Way concealer, and I'm just spreading that on the points that I want to bring forward on her face. And I'm making sure to avoid under her eyes so it doesn't have too much product and then it looks cakey. And then I went in with the e.l.f. concealer. It's a very, very light shade. I just did that so I can have a bright under eye. And then I'm contouring her nose with the Juvia's Place foundation stick, as well as around her face. And I'm using those tapping motions to blend everything out, as well as build up the color for the contour, or the bronze tour. And you want to make sure you're using patting motions to blend out the concealer, and you want to lightly pat, like you don't want to be taking too much product off your face. And I go over that with my foundation brush just to get those edges to blend seamlessly between the bronzer and the concealer. And then I'm going in with my Juvia's Place liquid blush, and I'm just putting that blush on the high points of her cheek. And then I'm using my Dermablend powder in translucent to set her face everywhere I put the concealer. And I'm making sure to really pet that into the skin. I usually do go over the eyebrows just to avoid an oily eyebrow. And I'm also baking the sides of her nose because she did say she gets very oily there. And I'm just pressing that powder into her skin, as well as sweeping away the excess powder. And I'm going in with my Juvia's Place bronzer in the shade Tan, and I'm just setting everywhere I bronze, making sure that it's not moving around. And I'm also using patting motions to blend that out. And now I'm going over the liquid blush with the Volume 4 palette, setting that in place. And I'm spraying her face with the Morphe Continuous Satin Mist. And I'm making sure that everything just dries down. And while I have her holding my fan, I am prepping her lashes. Don't be afraid to ask your clients to hold your fan for you, because it will make the process go by so easier. And now I'm just sending underneath her contour in the bottom half of her face, so we don't get any transfer, and we also get that sculpted look. And I'm just kind of using the remainder from the triangle puff just to kind of set the rest of her face where I feel like it was a little bit oily still. So now I'm just brushing all that away. And then I'm going to go in and pop on her lashes. She did have lash extensions on, but they were kind of falling out. So I went over it with a thin lash just to give it some drama. And I'm also going in with that Huda Beauty palette again with the pink shade, and I'm just sweeping this under her under eye to give it a pop of color. And then this is a trick if you get any fallout, just to use your translucent powder, tap it on a brush, and then wipe away the fallout instead, so it wouldn't leave marks on your face. And then I'm going in with my L'Oreal liner to line her eyes, and this is in the waterproof version. Adding mascara to finish off the look. And at this point, like, we knew the look was coming together. Like, it came out so cute. It's giving Valentine's Day honey. And I'm just setting her face with the Charlotte Tilbury spray. I'm using a brown liner that I got from the hair store. I believe it was like $1.99. And I'm lining her lips, and I'm just blending it out with the lipstick wand, just so it's not too harsh. And then I do believe I went in with Juvia's Place gloss, and I put the shade on the shade name on the screen. And I'm just using my highlighter palette just to highlight the top points of her face. And I'm not adding too much highlight, just a little bit to give her a glow. And this is the finished look. It came out super cute. Cuter than I expected, because I literally just followed my hand. But if you like these type of videos, make sure to like and comment. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thanks, guys. Bye.